for some, but nowhere
Yeah.
near
And
very
one of the
much.
tenets of growing up was respect your elders.
You respect your elders and you're nice to them, and you certainly didn't call them, you know, demented and
Yeah.
Alzheimer's and all
Cognitively
this,
impaired and whatever.
and all of this stuff that major league is going on now. Now, I know in businesses, and you can read articles on this and experienced it myself, that once you get into your 60s, well, you're not so welcome there
Yeah.
anymore.
Something happens.
So it's really gets in the water, whatever.
Yeah.
But suddenly you notice that you're not favored anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they want to get rid of you because you're by then your wages are too high because you've been there a long time, so
Right.
get rid of you so they can hire somebody cheaper. But I think it's more than that, especially these days. So
Yeah.
the question is, folks, anybody who gets on here, how you get relief by practicing age discrimination?
Mm-hmm.
What's the guess? Look inside yourself. So when you say, well, grandpa don't know nothing, or he's a doddering old fool or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's of course, we're speaking to you right now in July the 12th, 2024. We have Biden and Trump running. And so Trump's 79 and Biden is 81.
Yep.
And so, and it's particularly Biden is being really nailed for being old.
Yeah.
And it's funny right now, Trump's sort of getting a free ride. And believe you me, 79 ain't young.
Only 2 years behind him.
Right. It's 2 years. It's not it. So why they're picking on Biden more than the others, who knows? But some goes to Trump. I mean, we're talking ageism. So whether you do it at Trump, Biden, or anybody else, I don't agree with it if you don't have good, solid ground to stand on. And it's a dangerous thing for lay people to start saying, oh, I think maybe they have Alzheimer's. Yeah, be careful.
Yep.
That's a heavy diagnosis to lay on somebody. And Phil and I are psychologists. We know that's heavy.
Yeah.
Not to be thrown around lightly.
You're sentencing people with that diagnosis.
Yeah. Sentencing is correct. They're now on the path to the home.
Yeah.
Of sort.
Shuttled off to the side, right?
Yeah, right. You're being taken out of society, and for people, like, it's careful because even in my work, I've seen a lot of people called demented by their families when they weren't, but that's the age discrimination, and then they start acting as if they are demented, have Alzheimer's, and that's a really lousy process to see go on inside of a family.
Mm-hmm.
And
very destructive.
And you know, and like somebody like me come along and do an eval and go, no.
Yep.
No, they don't have Alzheimer's or dementia or anything. No, fine. They said, well, sometimes they can't find a word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you?
Yeah. Have you ever had that experience?
They walk into a room and they forget why they walked into it. Okay.
Yeah. Where's my keys?
I mean, every 20-year-olds do this, 18-year-olds do this. These are not
people coming out that looking for their car from the mall.
Oh yeah, I have a great story. I used one of my first cars. No, my first car was a little tiny Spitfire.
Triumph Spitfire.
Triumph Spitfire, a tiny little thing, and I was carrying a box of supplies to fix it with. You had to fix it all the time.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure it's over here somewhere. And then I ran into it with my knees. Even at that young age. If I'd have been old and did that, they'd say, "Well, there he is. He's
Oh
demented.
yeah,
He's losing it."
that's it.
So yeah, so you got to be careful. But back to it, it's this when you do this age discrimination. Is it an insecurity within yourself?
Hmm.
Are you afraid of getting old?
I think that's a biggie.
Is it that Ponce de Leon
Yeah,
fountain of youth
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
That to see somebody aged reminds you of your own mortality kind of thing? Maybe. I don't know. We're asking the question.
Yeah.
We don't have the answers. You can go find lots of books where people think they have the answer. But for some reason in this society, we have switched to not respecting our elders. A story for you. My wife got the grand opportunity to go to, where did she go, Phil? What Kenya was it?
Somewhere over there in
An African
yeah.
country where the elders are revered. And so she instantly, and I mean instantly, noticed the difference in how she was treated.
So
Isn't
she
that
got
something?
automatic street cred when she walked
Yeah.
in, huh?
She was like, oh my, she's, well, she's like my age. I'm not going to say her age. Get in trouble for that.
Oh yeah, no.
But nevertheless, she just immediately said, oh my goodness, it is so different. I am treated so differently here. One, people see me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go, I don't know if you've experienced Phil,
Mm-hmm.
but even I notice
Yeah.
I'm disappearing.
You feel invisible.
Right.
Yep.
People don't see you anymore.
People look past you.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
where over there, they go, oh my, you know,
Yeah.
an
Come here.
elderly person.
Sit over here. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Uh, so, so no, it's a cultural thing, most definitely. And we've gotten into, we as collectively as a society are practicing age discrimination. And we must be afraid of something. Of course, we're afraid of a lot here. We got what's the say? Autocracy on our doorstep.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fear of democracy or fear of loss of democracy, whichever.
Fear of loss of democracy, right? Fear of loss of women have fear of loss of all of their
individual rights. Exactly, right.
I mean, for that matter, I feel a little bit of fear with all that because I know in Hitler's Third Reich, they rounded up the people with PhDs and killed them.
Yep.
Rats. I think they got the people with master's degrees too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they started at the top and they worked our way down. That's kind
of, they call them intellectuals.
Right, exactly. And there's another discrimination.
So you get discriminated against because you went to school.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is going on. And so we call relief. You discriminate to get relief. Makes you feel better. Makes you feel on top. So something to be considered, something to look at. So we're hoping that people on YouTube will click on this and give it a quick look. And we'll just add our little bit to getting people pondering of why am I practicing age discrimination? And if you don't think you are, well, watch yourself and see if you are.
Notice.
It's a lot now. And it's really come before with Biden.
Yeah.
In particular.
He's like a lightning rod for it right now.
By the way, I mean, Trump's, now, folks, I know he says he's a stable genius, but he's not. Phil and I are experts
Yeah.
at evaluating intelligence.
Now that ship sailed a long time ago.
He's not. So I'm not going to get him for that. He just never was that intelligent. Unless you want to call narcissism intelligent, and he's got a lot of that.
Oh, a legend in his own mind.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, but all of these things they'll start talking about. Same I just started with. Word finding difficulty or this or that. You're like, oh, hold on a doggone minute. I don't know. I think you need to do a real evaluation on somebody.
Yeah.
Rather than, evaluating them through the news media. But he just seems to be getting a free ride and Biden's getting picked on. By the way, Biden's not impaired. He's not. Yeah. There's nothing about his functioning, his day-to-day functioning. For that matter, Trump's doing okay too, as far as day-to-day functioning.
Yeah, they both seem to be. Yep.
There's nothing that would indicate that they're getting lost. They're
lose your train of thought.
You're right. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I know that we like to pick on Trump for rambling on, but I know some people in my life that ramble on.
So. Oh yeah, well, rambling is another relief move.
Exactly.
I'm going to throw some words out there and hope something sticks.
Folks, I don't like Trump. I'll just tell you right now, I don't like him, but I'm not going to diagnose him with something. That's just not right. That's not. I just don't like him. Don't like his policies. Don't like his behavior. Don't like what he did in the last presidency. Maybe you're different. Somebody else is different. They just love it. Okay, whatever. But we're not going to do that. So, and part of my reticence too is I don't want to engage in age discrimination on Trump either.
It cuts both ways.
Cuts both ways, right? If I'm going to say, well, it's okay to do him, it's not okay to do
right.
That's not okay.
Which is another form of discrimination.
It's one of the isms. We got
it is definitely
racism and all kinds of isms.
Ism.
And we tend to label somebody and discriminate to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for what's the core thing down inside.
In the lower left.
Find out. What do you think, Phil?
Oh, well, I just like to look at this very simply, Kevin. It's fear in one of its many faces is the way I would look at it.
Yeah. It's the amygdala going off.
Yeah, it's really just amygdala. You see stuff happening around you and your amygdala picks up on it and it's generating stuff and it's looking for, it's helping you look for relief. That's what it's supposed to do.
Indeed, it is. Doesn't mean that there are relief moves that are very effective.
Absolutely more workable than age discrimination.
Like you're out in the field and lightning is starting to strike.
Yeah.
And you get inside of a house.
Yeah.
Relief. Good move.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna work for you. I mean, having fear show up with some old person and then discriminated against them based on that fear, it's certainly not it's not workable for the old person.
Yeah. Well, and there's that word again, when you think about when that word old shows up in the conversation, right? That's a sticky word. Very sticky word.
That's very sticky. Who did I hear? Oh, I was at a play last night. Funny Girl.
Uh-huh.
And one of the lines out of Fanny's mother was, somebody said, to be young again. And she said, I've already done that. I don't want to do that.
You're right. Yeah. Oh, someone else once said, you got to get where I've been. I heard somebody say that. You got to get where I've been.
Uh, so not that bad, but I don't know. There's a lot of it going on, and
Yeah.
it's pretty bad that even I notice it. So
Oh,
because you
it's
don't.
in the drinking water right now. Whew.
Yeah, it's major league in the drinking
You
water.
can't turn anywhere without running into it right now. I mean,
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, even if you're not looking for it, it's going to find you.
yeah, it's really something. So that's why we wanted to come in and put a YouTube video up. This is
Yeah,
a broadcast, but
matricize it a bit.
they get published over on the YouTube and just get people thinking about it. I mean, you can complain about it. But we don't do it that way.
No.
We'll complain some, but we really want to have people look at themselves
Yeah.
and say, what's going on inside of me that results in age discrimination. And
That's
if
the
you
key.
don't think you're doing it, well, watch yourself and see.
Yeah.
Uh, See if indeed you are. There's lots of. Oh, by the way, folks, a little factoid for you. You know, Phil may know this. What's the average age of a U.S. senator?
Oh, I used to
80.
know that.
That's
Yeah.
80.
I was going to say 79, 80.
Currently, it's 80. Well, Biden's 81.
Yeah.
You're going to go after, unless if average means there's ones that's over
They're above.
it.
Some of them are really above
Some
80.
of them are really above. I mean, like Feinstein, let's face it, she really was impaired
Yeah.
in the end. She was. Anybody, you could
Yeah.
look at her and she couldn't even speak. Her aides were having to sort of whack on her and get her woke up and get her to answer questions and stuff. That is impaired. Okay. So, I want we got Biden did something where he called somebody Putin. Uh,
Yeah.
and of course,
Right.
he
He
had Putin
referred
on
to
the brain.
Zelensky as Putin, President
Yeah,
Putin.
he had Putin on the brain. Who
Right.
cares?
Yeah.
Uh,
Just came out of a NATO summit,
right.
multiple days of, right.
No, it's not going to hold up. So, anyways, and I don't know. I think the House was a little younger, but not a lot younger.
Not by much.
Not by much. And so, picking on Biden because he's 81, and no, no, no. But that's him. Don't pick on Trump. I won't pick on anybody because they're old. This is not cool.
Well, that would be the big takeaway. What's the point?
Oh,
Right?
what's the point?
What's the
Right.
purpose of picking on somebody?
There must be, I guess the sociologists will weigh in and tell us.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely.
I think if everybody takes a look at it, maybe we'll start doing a little bit less, but maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah. It could happen.
I know one thing, folks. If you're in my presence and you do it, I will dress you down. And I'm not, people like Kevin Polk would do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rage. Yeah. It gets me riled up and I go, I, I will not suffer through that silently.
Yep.
I just will not. So, and I guess more old people need to put up a fuss. Oh, by the way, if you watch the mainstream media, they're just full of ageism right now.
Oh,
They're nuts.
well,
They just can't lay off of it.
it,
I
it
guess
gets,
because it sells eyeballs.
I was just going to say, it gets eyeballs.
Gets eyeballs on their advertising, and they get money for it.
Yeah. Forget about policy or what's really going on. We want to talk about how old people are.
Yeah, and of course that gets people's attention, and they want to watch. Oh well, we'll see. Anyway, any of the isms is not a great idea, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the racism, the sexism, the
Mm-hmm.
ageism, those kinds of discrimination things. They don't get us in the upper right quadrant.
Nope.
Helping out each other. Let's give that a try. So there, we did it. We talked
Yeah.
about ageism.
We did. We
What are we?
introduced.
We're not. You know what? We're not going to talk about nothing next week
No,
because Phil's going on vacation,
I'm not going to be here.
and I'm going to do this by myself. So we're going to take off next week,
Yeah.
which just seems cool. No, well, not cool. It's hotter than heck here. Uh, is it hot down in Philadelphia?
It is finally the heat lifted last night. I walked out of my house about 9 o'clock and I noticed a difference.
Wow, because it's
And
still
today
hot.
it's a little kind of rainy to talk about thunderstorms, but significant heat let up. Still warm.
And we still got the heat up here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think we're getting the remnants from the hurricane and all that.
The hurricane, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's been hot.
Oh, it's going to go back up next week. It's going to be up to around 100 by next week, from what I understand, though.
I don't think you'll like 100.
Well, I'll be someplace else. I won't.
Oh, you're not going to be there. Oh, well,
so that'll be okay.
by the way, all those people that used to deny climate change, have you seen the temperatures lately?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just this year, for several years. Forget about it, folks.
It's been crickets from them recently. I don't see.
Yeah, science works sometimes, folks. It really does. And by the way, what Phil and I are talking about is science. Something goes off inside of you, hits your amygdala, and you go, and you go to do a relief move. We're not making it up. It's just what people do.
It happens.
Having that awareness of that is a very important thing. So go for it. Maybe we're doing ageism just because we're all scared to death.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to be scared of.
Yep.
And it's an easy thing to point to because it's you just look at somebody and you size them up and then you say okay, or you hear the number 81. Yeah.
Oh no.
And then you go, I don't want that.
And then you go, hold on a minute, I do want that.
Yeah. On the other hand, hitting 81 means, yeah.
Means I hit 81.
Means I hit 81. Heading for 82, hopefully.
Right. The alternative is.
And I can recognize that I hit 81. That's also important.
That's the funny thing with doing age discrimination. And if you play your cards right, you just might make it there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if it's going on, then you're going to discriminate it. And then you really like it.
You wonder, there's probably been a study, I'm sure there's been a study, I can't recall anything right now, of as you approach that age that you say is old, it becomes less old.
But I'm sure that study's been done.
It's got to be there somewhere.
I know that. I mean, I'm sure I thought 35 was old.
Oh yeah. Oh, 35. They used to talk about that approaching middle age, back in the day, right?
And we have whippersnappers.
Yeah.
Now, for a fella I have 35, you're still wet behind
the
the
word at 35. A sprout.
That's right. It's a sprout. So the age you are really changes your perception.
It really, man, perspective taking all the way.
If we could age everybody real quick, everybody'd have a lot, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe holding that age discrimination stuff very lightly at that point.
Yes. Now I do look at it from a clinician point of view and evaluating folks.
Yeah.
Lay off that stuff.
Yeah, it's
not cool.
Not a good thing to do.
Leave it to the professionals. And by the way, pay attention to folks. Help little old ladies across the street.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff.
Exactly.
I was in the store the other day, it's my local farm store. I have a little farm, and I was buying stuff, and because I've been there a lot, and they wear name tags. That's my
Oh
first thing.
yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, and I knew the person's name, which I can't think of right now. Whatever, Ashley. I'll say Ashley, and because that's one of them. And she goes, "Oh my God, you remember my name? It's so nice to be remembered."
Mm.
I didn't tell her that I was reading her name tag,
No.
but I thought that was so neat that she thought, "Oh, it's so nice to be remembered."
Yeah.
Well, for old people, it's so nice to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, it's just like saying, "I see you. I see you, the person you."
Yeah, you right.
Yeah,
It's
being
really
seen.
well, no matter who you are, it's cool to be seen and
Yep.
recognized, and it's cool instead of being ignored.
Mm.
Which is, of course, what sets us off when we're sitting there and people have their face buried in their phone.
Oh, oh, yeah. Ooh,
By the
another
way,
one.
that sets everybody off.
Yeah, that's a
Everybody,
yeah. Ooh,
because the people around you are not being seen.
yep.
Oh well, if we keep muddling along, we might figure out a way out of all these problems.
Could be.
You never know.
Yeah,
We'll keep
don't.
trying. We'll keep trying. We'll
Yeah.
show back.
Well, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep
We'll
doing
be
it.
back. We'll be back on
The 22nd.
22nd,
I
22nd
think.
of July.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll do something. Who
Yep.
knows? Oh, Jasmine's in. Just jumped on. Well, we've been
Oh,
talking
hey.
about ageism, Jasmine. Jasmine is way, way, way too young to be
Oh,
experienced
yeah. Right.
on the receiving end of ageism. Yeah,
Uh,
we just wanted to talk about it, make people aware of the must be something going on in the lower left that's scaring people that they then. I think about this with my dad. Yeah, well, ask your dad about it. I'm sure he
yeah.
noticed it. Yeah, it's funny because it's
There
not
you
funny.
go.
Take it back. It's not funny. It's not funny because my wife, female, just say, "Oh yeah," she said, once you're past your prime, the men don't see you anymore.
Mm.
You know, so when you're a young 20 something, 30 something, they all of you or something. Which I'm not saying she liked it, but at least they saw her. Then she got older, and then like, no, they don't see you anymore.
Mm.
Well, you know what? I'm a guy, and I've even noticed that.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, it's not like they were looking at me, as they were attracted. I just mean they just don't see me.
Yeah, you're not there. Invisible.
He's a builder contractor, tough as an ox, but no one wants to hire him because he's old.
There's that word, that old word. Yep.
And he can probably do things
Yeah.
that a 20-something-year-old couldn't
Yeah.
even begin to do.
Hasn't even begun to fathom.
And, well, if he were here in Maine, I would hire him.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
That's
the
it.
ageism.
Can't
That is ageism. You
right. Yep.
50, yeah. That you just Jasmine just put in his 50 years experience, and he won't get hired because he's old. That's just pure
It's
age
awful.
discrimination.
Yep.
Pure D.
Yep.
12. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a lot of experience.
That's a lot of experience, but goes
Yeah,
on.
and it's hard to watch. Yep.
I'm on the receiving end of it. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to experience.
Yeah. It's hard to experience.
It really is. It just is. I don't look forward to. I mean, I don't mind getting older. That haven't bothered me, but
Nope.
being discriminated against because I'm old.
Not being seen. Right. Right.
No, that's not cool. Oh well, we'll sign off. Have a good time. We're just looking at life through the act matrix. It's a fun thing to play with. Pick it up and play with it if you get a chance.
And then go about your business.
then go about your business. That's all we can. Any of us can do. Do the best we can.
Sad.
Garrison Keeler said, "Do good work.
Yeah.
do
Do good stuff.
good stuff." Bye bye, folks.
All
Bye
right.
bye,
See ya.
Jazz.
Take care, Jazz.